up, fellow nerds? My name is Stephanie and welcome to For the Love of Nerd. Now, I've told you guys before that book hauls are not things that are going to be happening very often on this channel just because money's a little bit tight at the moment, but I was at the bookstore the other day and I didn't bring Josh, which was a mistake because when I don't bring Josh, then I don't have him to be like, do we really need that book? Because I get into a bookstore and I just lose my mind. And that's what happened because I went in to get an anniversary present for Josh. Our anniversary is coming up and I found a whole bunch of other books, and the next thing I knew, I was walking out of the store with like 5 books. So that happened. Whoops. I'm horrible. But yeah, I wanted to briefly share them with you guys because I got some really good deals on them. That's how I'm justifying this. Let's get started. I'll start with the book that I got Josh for our anniversary. Now, it's a little self-serving because I want this book as well, but he really wanted it first, so it counts as a present. I don't know. I'm horrible. Don't judge me. But that book is A Conjuring of White by V.E. Schwab. Now, this is the 3rd book in the Shades of Magic trilogy, I believe it's called. So I can't tell you anything about the synopsis of this book, obviously, because it's the last in a series, but I can briefly tell you about the first book. The main character of this story is a man named Kel, and he is a traveler, which means that he can travel between alternate Londons. There's Red London, White London, Grey London, and Black London, and he can travel between them. And he carries messages from the different royals in the different Londons. But on the side, he does a little bit of smuggling, and he gets into trouble when one day he starts smuggling something that he should not be. So that's the basic premise of the series. I'm really excited to read this last book. I've been kind of waiting. It came out a little while ago, but I've been waiting to get it, and I finally got it for Josh, and I'm hopefully going to be reading it here pretty soon. Plus, this copy right here, it's signed. It was the last signed copy in the store, and I got it. So I feel pretty great about that. Next up, I have an interesting one. I don't normally buy books that I haven't at least read something by the author. I try to be very selective about the books that I buy just because, like I said, money is tight, books are expensive, so I try not to buy books by authors that I've never read before, but I made an exception for this book, partly because it was $5 for a hardcover, and partly because I've heard really good things about this book, and partly because it was beautiful. So that book is Illuminated by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I don't know much about this book, honestly. I'm not really sure what it's about. All I know is that it takes place in space. Like, that's all I know. But the format of this book is very, very interesting. It's pieced together by emails and pictures and like chat conversations. So it's not your typical layout. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's a very interesting format, and I've never read anything quite like it, and I'm really excited. I've heard really, really good things about it. This was $5, which I was so surprised because it didn't come out all that long ago, maybe a year, and it's really highly reviewed. I don't know. But like, can we just appreciate how beautiful it is? Like, can we do that? Like, it's gorgeous. It was $5. Don't judge me. I'm really, really excited about this next book. Not the cover, because the cover's not very good, but I'm really excited to actually have this book, and that is Reckless by Cornelia Funk. Now, if you know who Cornelia Funk is, she wrote the Inkworld series, which are some of my favorite books in the world, and I read this book last year, I think, and I really, really enjoyed this book. So, like I said, the cover is not the best, but this was really cheap, and when I saw it, I was like, I have to have that. You know, it doesn't matter what the outside looks like necessarily, as long as the words are there. This was one of my favorite books in recent years, and when I saw it for so cheap, I was like, I have to. This is what happens when I don't bring Josh along. I see books like this and I blank out, I black out, and suddenly it's in my bag, in my car, on the way home. That's what happens when I go to bookstores. This is a story about a boy named Jacob, and he discovers a mirror that leads to another world. And for years, he goes into that world, learns all about it, gets really comfortable there, but then one day, his brother follows him through the mirror, and something awful happens. And so Jacob has to try and save his brother before it's too late. So I really enjoyed this book. Like I said, I love fantasy novels, and this one was just really unique and different, and I hadn't read anything like it before. And I would recommend this very, very highly. It is a bit younger. I believe it's middle grade, so it reads a little bit younger than most books. But if you're okay with that, this is an excellent, excellent book. I would recommend Cornelia Funk Until the Day I Die, because I think she is underrated. I don't think she gets enough credit for the books that she writes. I think she's excellent. So you should read this book. I'm really excited about it. Just ignore the ugly cover. There's nothing I can do about that. And last up for the books that I bought, I have The Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages Legendary Edition, and A Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask, and A Link to the Past Legendary Edition. These are manga, and these are 2 and 3 in a series, and I have really been enjoying this series. I read the first one last year. I got it for Christmas, and I don't know what it was about the series, but it just kind of blew my mind a little bit. For those of you who know me, I love the Legend of Zelda games very, very much. I think they're the greatest games ever. And so when I read the manga, I was kind of expecting it to be kind of cutesy and not all that serious. But what I found was that the story actually was filled in very nicely, and some things that aren't explained in the game, the author took them and kind of explained them in a really unique way. And I was really impressed with the first one, which I'll show you in just a second. But this is 2 and 3 in the series, and oh man, I'm really excited about these. For those of you who are curious, this is the first book in the series, Ocarina of Time, and I will put the author's name down here because, like I have said before, I don't pronounce things and I don't want to butcher it because I really enjoy the series and I don't want to offend them. So yeah, you can pronounce that for yourself. But really, really good. Would definitely recommend if you're a fan of Zelda. And even if you're not, they're fun stories. And there you have it. Those are the books that I bought recently. I will be taking Josh with me to the next bookstore so that I don't make this mistake again. I'm hopeless. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video today. If you guys liked what you saw, please go click that subscribe button. Leave a like, leave a comment. We want to interact with you guys. Get to know you. Form a relationship. Yay! As always, may your books be many and your interruptions few. Bye, guys! If you're gonna drive past me, just do it. You're a jerk. You'd think with me living in the middle of nowhere that there would be less car sounds, but I don't think that's the case.